Alright, this is the second part of the schedule build. After the schedule is posted, after we paste it to the agency sheets, everything in red here that I just put is just showing you an example of what needs to be deleted. So when the final result is the impossible, this line here should be on the top, and for this page it should start on row 9 for the first Bigo ID. There should be one column in between each schedule, so that's why we're deleting all these here. So if you don't know how to delete, you're going to highlight these rows here, and then you're going to right click, hit delete row 1 through 7, and that puts the event up top on the top row where we want it, and that also puts the first ID here on row 9 is where I have the coding. So everything on our sheets is coded for this format, so this is how we have to have it. Now every Bigo schedule is different, so some pages are going to be different as you'll show. That's why I put everything here in red, so you can watch what needs to be deleted. So here, same thing as the rows, we're just going to highlight the columns, just left click, drag it across, and delete. So when you're done deleting that, there should be one row in between. Another thing to pull the, so that you can see it if your computer, you don't see which columns have the data in it, you can click this little wraparound thing here. It's called text wrap. Usually by default it's on the loop around. Just make sure that it's on overflow. So it's this little icon here, change it to overflow. Usually when you first get it on, it's going to look like this, like a U-turn. And what that does is it makes the data go straight across and hides like this, versus making the columns long so you can't see these columns. So anyways, we're just going to breeze through this one really quick. And we are going to delete these. So again, there should be exactly one column in between, and each schedule should have data. Now, if you accidentally do this, just say I'm going to delete this wrong column here. I'm going to delete an event. So now I just accidentally deleted an event I shouldn't have. The undo button here is your friend. So just hit the undo button, and it's going to bring this back so that you can just go back and fix it. So your undo button is your friend. We try to get these schedules done early because if any other manager is working on any other part of the system, when you do undos, it's going to too. So it's very important. So if the schedule is posted and you don't know how to make the schedule yourself, please know how to do this part so that you can just go ahead and at least prep this. So when the schedule is done, you should only have data in each one of these, and there should be one column in between. Okay, for the tomorrow's tab, each one of these are going to be a little bit different because of the way Bigo, oh, someone already did this one. Well, this one would have been a little different because there is a extra line that Bigo puts underneath the impossible. So it's going to be a blank line, so it needs to be deleted. Okay, so we're going to go over to the Tomorrow tab. The Tomorrow tab is the Today tab. This one usually has a lot because a lot of times there's only going to be one or two schedules. But this will also have the black line on the blank line that I'm going to show you that's on the second day. Oh, sorry, I got the hiccups. So this line here is red because it's just an extra line that Bigo put in, which is going to throw off our user data here, because this row here needs to be on row 9, and as you can see, it's on 10. So this dead row that Bigo got in here, they have it on the tomorrow and the today. We just need to delete that. I've asked them to fix that a few times. They don't want to listen. If I told the family to do that on their schedule, they would fix it. It seems like I got a lot of pull in the family, and the agency, they just do shit their own damn way, and they won't take any advice. Because our whole schedule system could be so much easier for everybody if they actually listened. But you can see these events here, they got no data in there, so we're just going to scroll down until we have the data, and we are just going to delete all this data. So now we have the 2 rows in front, which is the default. We're going to keep that, and then we have 1 row in between. Now these don't have data. Same thing, going to delete. And as you see, there's only usually going to be 2 or 3 that are done. Once upon a time, Bigo used to have the 3-day schedule. So the rest of these are all going to be blank, so we're just going to delete all these. So hopefully that helped you. This last column, it really doesn't matter if it's there or not because the coding is going to stop here. Now sometimes this one's got the date in here because this event's on here, but normally this event's only on at the end of the month. So just say that we were doing, this was the first one. We need to actually put that date in this box. So it's going to say up here Thursday the 28th, so you'd have to physically just type in the date here. You only have to do it in the one box because the coding on our program, it reads from C9. So whatever date's in C9, it's going to record. So if this event is not here and there's not a date, then if this is the first event, we're just going to put a thing in there. And that's it for that part. And then the next thing that we're going to do, sometimes you may have to give this a few minutes. We want to go to the master backend schedule. This sheet is also open for the public so that any host can look up their family and their agency. So basically, they would, put their Bigo ID here, all their agency PKs for the next 3 days. If they have any family in their ID, it would pop here. And then they can also look for their entire family. So if their family has a PK, they're going to be in the drop down here, which is lagging because it's still trying to load the other thing. So we'll go back to that. Well, okay, there it goes. So if the family has a PK on the schedule, the family name will automatically be in here. So example, we're just going to hit the yacht club. It's going to pull up their whole family schedule. Again, it's running a little slow right now because we're recording. It takes a lot of the RAM out of the computer. But if they have any PKs, they're all going to show up here. If they don't, it's just going to show an error. Well, actually, they're going to have PKs because their name's in the list. If their name's not in the list, they're not going to have any PKs. All right, this is going to take a few seconds to load, so we're going to go back to the other part. So the other part we want to go to is the agency schedule. Now, my administration has access to sort the B column and sort the A column. So you basically just got to read what it says. Because as you can see, we got the 26th, we got the 27th, we got mixed in there. The times are all mixed up. So all 3 days are just pulling from the data. There's spaces in between. So we want to correct all this so it puts everything in order. So you're just going to hit the B column, the same thing as like you were deleting. You just click it with your left mouse. Then you want to right click and then hit sort A to Z, just like it says up top. It says sort first, A to Z. And that puts all the times in order. Now, of course, now your dates are wrong because all your friendlies are going to be in here. So now we have to do column A, and we're going to sort that A to Z. So now all our times are in order and all of our dates in order. So these are all today's events for our agency. And then these are all tomorrow's events for our agency. And then these are all Thursday's events for the agency. So that's how all that gets sorted. Now sometimes through the day you're going to get a blank line that pops in or something. Something that doesn't look right on the schedule. All we have to do is re-update this. Because sometimes, depending on how many people are on my server, it will lag on loading. So that's why I say sometimes you may have to wait like 10 minutes before you do the sort. But so what that does is when we go back to the agency schedule page, all the host information, the time, the rebates, everything here is in order. So all the hosts have to do is look. Some of the ones are different color coded, like red is a PK, which means these have to be completed. And the other ones are just blue is percentages and green is the boosters. I got to recode this one because they just added these period threes. But usually I have them broke down between your auto rebates and different things so you know if they can be transferred or not. But that's how all this goes. And then we have the your PKs with your opponents are going to be in the first tab. Which it looks like somebody did tomorrow's, but they have not double checked today. So I'm running out of time here really quick, but I want to go back here. So here we want to go back to today's. You always want to check today's because there's obviously going to be updates in the last 24 hours. So we're just going to go down here with the highlighter. See Jessica is up against Stun. I'm up against Maylene. So basically all we're going to do is go into the PK data next to this. Jessica's got that opponent. They got that opponent. And we're going to go back to today again and check this. Julian has got Philly. Blackheart's got Unique. So we're going to have Philly, Unique. Okay, so here this PK was replaced. So we did a transfer yesterday that wasn't updated. So we're just going to copy her name. And we're going to paste that over. I usually do a special paste value. So now that's updated. So now we go down to the next one. This is why this has got to be checked every day, because if we did a transfer or the host did, we got to check on that impossible. Nikki in X and Jessica in Toxic. So we're going to go X, Toxic, this is correct, and the impossible's there. So now we're down to here. So we just really got to double check. We do have another transfer that was put in, so there should be another one from yesterday that needs to be done. Okay, under's got black over. This number's got Jan and NI. Jan NI. Okay, so we should have two more according to that, and I'll also show you how to double check that. We got 3 minutes here. Okay, so Black Part took this PK because I do believe that was under Sunshine or Sunflower. Yeah, right here. So we got to replace this. Yeah, I usually use special paste. So when we go back to here, like these transfers were put in, but they weren't on the schedule. So now this person is actually here. This person's actually here. So now we can actually reset these by doing the column here and resetting it just by pulling it up. It's just going to reset everything. So that's why we got to check that. And it looks like the second schedule is being done. So what we also want to check is today's schedule. It shows 12. So we should have 12 here. Okay, tomorrow's there should be 12. Obviously, like numbers are going to be off, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So all 12 are on there. Now where this data comes from, it's going to come from that other sheet where we sort, which is going to be under events. So if one is missing and you can't find it, this is the easiest way to find it. This tells how many events the host has and what event. So usually it's going to be a new host if it's off. So go down to the new host section, and usually this is where you're going to find it. And this is where you can also find where new hosts are not signing up for events, where we need help to get them signed up. So this is today's and this is tomorrow's. I don't do the 3 days because Bigo hasn't had a full schedule on that in about 2 years. But this is how you can help the hosts, sign up. Obviously, these hosts got no events. They're obviously not signing up for events. So this will definitely give you a little guidance. And that's about it on that. We got it done with almost 1 minute to spare. Let me go back to the family search. That should be loaded now. So, okay, the Yacht Club now pulls up. Their family has one event. So the family will be there in the Bigo ID. So again, to use that, you just put in your family name. If it's not on the list, your family has no events for that day. Like Citizen. Okay, so now it's pulling fast like it should be. So, it pulls up their family. Now, if you put your Bigo ID up here, like if I do mine real quick, which I wish I knew how to eliminate that extra stuff that goes in there. Got to make sure there's no space or anything at the end. So if you know you have PKs on the schedule and it doesn't show up, you probably got a space on your end. A lot of